Now we will be discussing oral agents that are used in diabetic patients. For several reasons, oral agents are typically the first medications used in the treatment of type 2 diabetes. Because of their wide range of efficacy, safety, and mechanisms of action, it is important for clinicians to gain a broad understanding of each class of oral agents to optimize diabetes control. Now, just to make a short overview, we will talk about all these agents. We will first classify them, then discuss their mechanism of action and possible effects of insulin, along with the chances of hypoglycemia. At last, we will conclude their uses and effectiveness. First off with sulfonylurea that include glimepiride, glipizide, and glyburide. The main mechanism of action includes stimulation of insulin release from the beta cells of the pancreas. Sulfonylureas block ATP-sensitive potassium channels, resulting in depolarization, calcium influx, and insulin exocytosis. In addition, sulfonylureas may reduce hepatic glucose production and increase peripheral insulin sensitivity. Effects on plasma insulin is significantly increased, but there is a risk of hypoglycemia, which is most common in this class. They have well-established history of effectiveness. Weight gain can occur due to its use. Next are glinides that include natglinide and repaglinide. Like the sulfonylureas, the glinides stimulate insulin secretion. They bind to a distinct site on the beta cell, closing ATP-sensitive potassium channels and initiating a series of reactions that results in the release of insulin. Effects on plasma insulin is significantly increased, but there is lesser risk of hypoglycemia. Usually, they are taken with meals. They can also undergo postprandial effect. Biguanides, which are often used as first-line agents for treating diabetes, mainly include metformin. The main mechanism of action of metformin is reduction of hepatic gluconeogenesis. Excess glucose produced by the liver is a major source of high blood glucose in type 2 diabetes, accounting for high fasting blood glucose. Metformin also slows intestinal absorption of sugars and improves peripheral glucose uptake and utilization. Metformin does not have any effect of plasma insulin and not cause hypoglycemia, making it an ideal candidate for treating type 2 diabetes. It also has well-established history of effectiveness like sulfonylurea. But weight loss may occur, and we also need to monitor renal function along with its administration. Then we have thiazolidinediones that commonly called as glitazones, and these include pioglitazone and rosiglitazone. They binds to peroxisome proliferator activated receptor gamma in muscle, fat, and liver to decrease insulin resistance. They do not show any effect of plasma insulin and not cause hypoglycemia as well. They are effective in highly insulin-resistant patients. Once daily dosing for pioglitazone is usually required. We must check liver function before initiation of treatment. They should be avoided in liver disease or heart failure. Moving on to alpha-glucosidase inhibitors that have acarbose and miglatol. Their mechanism of action involves decrease in glucose absorption by inhibition of alpha-glucosidase enzyme. Since they do not stimulate insulin release or increase insulin sensitivity, these agents do not cause hypoglycemia when used as monotherapy. These drugs are taken with meal and have gastrointestinal adverse effects. Dipeptidylpeptidase 4 inhibitors include alogliptin, linagliptin, sitagliptin, and saxagliptin. By inhibiting DDP4 enzyme, these drugs increases glucose-dependent insulin release, decreases secretion of glucagon. They will increase plasma insulin but show no hypoglycemic effects. Once daily dosing is preferred, and they may be taken with or without food. They are well tolerated, but there is risk of pancreatitis. SGLT2 inhibitors include conagliflozin and dapagliflozin. The sodium glucose cotransporter 2, SGLT2, is responsible for reabsorbing filtered glucose in the tubular lumen of the kidney. By inhibiting SGLT2, these agents decrease reabsorption of glucose, increase urinary glucose excretion, and lower blood glucose. No risk of hypoglycemia is reported with its use. Once daily dosing in the morning is preferred. There is a risk of hypotension and hyperkalemia. It should be avoided in severe renal impairment patients. So that was all for anti-diabetic agents. Hope you have got the maximum hang of it. Keep watching sqadia.com for upcoming pharmacology-related videos and more.